Hello, 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 and thank you for joining me for another Nene moment. Well, today, what I like to talk about is all the thoughts that go through our head and how it keeps us stuck. And how we always have so many other things that we have to deal with in life. So, fighting against ourselves and fighting against others, we should be more mindful of where we give our energy to. Okay? So, the reason why I say that is because I used to be angry, so I would go through being angry, feeling like someone did something to me, and I was always feeling as though I was protecting myself or defending my truth. When the truth was that all I needed to defend was my peace. And so instead of going back and forth with someone or trying to get someone to understand my point of view, I was just supposed to find a way to keep peace in the situation, that peace that passes all understanding. Um, because we go through so many things in the outer world. We turn on the TV and we see all the things that are not fair, that we don't feel is right, and how people are being mistreated. And then it's nothing that we can really, well, we feel like there's nothing that we can really do. And instead of us sending up a prayer to the one who can fix the situation or heal the situation or heal the hearts and minds of man, we sit up here and we start taking that on, and we start feeling as though we are stuck and we cannot do this and we cannot do that, to where we end up feeling anxious. But we can't deal with that. The scripture says that we do not battle. We do not wrestle with flesh and blood, because I choose how I respond to you. You choose how you respond to me. It's up to me to keep myself peace in that center. Okay. So I think the only thing that we wrestle with is our mind, because we stay stuck in our head so much and about so many things that we're trying to get understanding about, because it's not aligning with the things that we thought it should. But the thing is to get out of your head. Do all that you can. Show your works by your faith. Show your faith by your works. And so if you say you don't like that situation, or you say that you don't like the way things are going and everything else like that, then take actions to do your part and then let God do his part. Just make sure you quiet your spirit and pray and ask God what he will have you to do. And then take the limited understanding and the limited knowledge that you have off of it. Okay? Because he will bless you above and beyond everything that you can ever ask for and think. But we have to take our limited understanding off of it. So we have to get out of our head all the time. We can think, if something constantly keep going through our head, then we need to sit down and make a plan towards how we're going to go towards accomplishing it. But make sure before you sit down with that plan, you sit up here and you bring it before God. Okay, Father, or God, however you call him. I call him Father. I call him God. I call him Jesus. I call him Father, okay? But I say, okay, what would you have me to do with this? And I'm trying to get more clear about it, because one thing that I'm noticing, okay, if you follow me, I tell you that I pray, I journal, I meditate, I breathe my word and things like that. So it's like I'm beginning to ask more and learning how to quiet my spirit to receive the direction in which I am going. But guess what? My reasoning, my I can't say laziness, because it's not so much laziness. When I was journaling today, I realized that it's not so much laziness, it's actually the fear of the unknown. you know so it's like me sitting up here trying to figure out what will happen on the other side of me taking this action. That's what prevents me from taking the action. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not so much me being lazy. It's just me trying to reason in my head or get understanding in my head. But the thing is, let quiet your spirit so he can lead and guide you. Not so much for you to so much figure everything out. That's the reason why you do your part. Sit down, plan, figure out, okay, well, dang, I want to write my journal. Okay, well, I want to make a journal. Since journaling helped me, I want to write a journal. Okay, so what I did is I just started taking scriptures that really helped me, that I would say over and over again, that helped me in certain times. And then I looked up different things that I wanted to add to my journal that helped me. Affirmation, Bible scriptures, quotes from books, and things like that. And guess what? I would get to those times to where I did not know what was on the other side, and then I would kind of back up off of it. But I kept on going towards it, and eventually my journal came out of it. So if you have not ordered your journal yet, I will leave my website down below, so you can go get your journal. So you can journal to peace. Okay? And then also, we deal with outsiders. You know, outsiders that literally sometimes disturb our peace. You know, like I just gave you the example about the news and things like that. But then when we hear about what the government is doing, or we hear about what the president is doing and things like that, we know that the things that they do and the actions that they take is going to affect us. And so we'll start going over in our head, okay, well, what's going to happen if they do this? Or what's going to happen if they do that? Guess what? I can't control what's going to happen then. Okay? They said they going to do this, that, and the third. Okay, guess what? Lord, show me what I need to do to prepare myself for whatever they have in store. Help my spirit be quiet to where I can be open enough to hear you. And then quiet your spirit. And I promise you, things will start showing up in your life to prepare you. You know, gardening. You know, for some reason gardening. But anybody that know me know I'm scared of bugs. But my sister did a garden. You know, my niece got a garden. You know, this somebody else that I know did a garden. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dang. And I've been having the desire to do it because I think it's so beautiful and things like that. But I'm working towards it. But I asked him for something, and he's showing me how to prepare me and my kids for whatever may come. But if I just sit there trying to figure out what it's going to look like on the other side, I'm not going to move towards it to where, guess what? I'm not protecting my children like I can be. You know? So we can't control outside entities, but we can control ourselves and how we respond to those outside entities. We can either choose to complain and remain, or we can choose to complain and come up with a resolution, a plan to keep us in peace to where we're not so much affected as much as we can be if we do not prepare. Okay. Also, it says in Ephesians 6:12, because that's where I'm coming from, Ephesians 6:12, if you know, you don't know. But cosmic power. Okay, you hear about the planets and how they align and how it affects your moods and things like that. Okay, I'm not in control of how the cosmics align and things like that. God is in control of that. So if God is in control of everything, no matter how much the planets align, because you know, as women, once a month, them planets be doing something because we go through it. Okay? We go through it. And so I can't control that. But now that I am more aware of how I act or how I feel around those times, I can start taking things or doing things to try to ease it or reduce the side effects or whatever the cosmics is doing. You know, if my spirit is not feeling that peace, if it's not feeling, you know, if it's feeling confused, if I'm feeling angry, irritated, things like that, you know, journaling is helping, meditating is helping. You know, I got an unstuck coach. She's amazing. If you want her information, I'm gonna leave her information down below. But it's so many different ways that you can sit up here and get yourself centered. So even though we cannot control how the cosmics align to affect our energy and things like that, but we'll always know when something is not feeling right and our spirit is uneasy. Be proactive about getting it back centered to where you can be more open to receiving his voice. And then the present darkness. You know, we have so many fears, you know, and I feel like that is the present darkness, you know, because every day we wake up, we may fear if this is going to happen or if that is going to happen. We can't get out of our reality because guess what? The darkness is always there, reminding us in some type of way. You know, no matter what we do or how we do it, we still feel the darkness. And so we can't change that because we know evil is all around us. We know that people have evil intentions. We just know that evil is just evil. Okay? And so we can't change evil. We can't change the darkness. We can't do any of that. And what I mean by we can't change it, because we can change it within ourselves. We can see how it affects us and how it don't affect us. I mean, and try to figure out how not to let it affect us. And so, and the way that I feel like you control that is in your head, because you know we replay thoughts over and over again, and it becomes darker and darker every time you think about it. It becomes heavier and heavier every time we think about it. As the more we replay that thought, it just sucks the life out of us because we're trying to figure out how can I protect myself in this situation, or what can I do, you know, to not feel this effect or not to get this. But at the same time, we just stuck in our thoughts instead of sitting up here and seeing what God placed in our lap to be proactive about today to reduce that anxiety. Because that's one thing for me. I realize that every time I ask for something, he'll put things in my path and start showing me things. And then the more I push it off or the more I don't do it, the more I start feeling overwhelmed, confused, and anxious. And then as soon as I get tired of feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, I take the steps that has been laid before me and that has kept on coming up over and over and over again for me to do, but I just failed not to do because I did not know what it looked like on the other side of that action. But I tell you, as soon as you get so uncomfortable and confused, I promise you, you're going to start busting a move. And then once you bust a move, you're going to be like, that was not as bad as I thought. I throw tantrum. If it ain't easy, I'm irritated. Okay? So the presence of darkness, get out of your head. Try to find a better way to just allow it. Okay? Spiritual forces. Guard your thoughts. Guard your thoughts. Because if we ain't fighting against flesh and blood, and we're fighting against spiritual attacks, then God is spirit. We was made in the image of him. So his spirit dwells within us. So guess what? When it's all the spiritual evil stuff come and it start racing in our head going over and over again, yeah, take a few minutes. God, God, I don't like that thought. And I got a previous video that said one thought. When your mind starts going so much, and it's icky and it's not getting you nowhere, and you know it's not loving, you know it's not God, I challenge you just to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Get quiet with yourself and just say thank you. And then once that thought ceases for a minute, just say a quick prayer. Lord, please bring everything in a proper perspective for me because I'm feeling overwhelmed and confused. And he'll bring it in a proper perspective for you. Okay? Quiet your spirit. I promise you, he'll speak to you. And then in heavenly places. I feel like the heavenly places is in our head. I feel like hell is in our head. I'm not talking about when we die and what we go to after. I'm talking about what we live in here. Because literally the thoughts that we have in our head, the feelings that we have in our heart, the actions that we take or we choose not to take, literally determines if we're happy or unhappy on this earth. That is the whole point. Just sit up here and quiet yourself enough. You quiet your spirit enough to where you can acknowledge and be thankful for the things that you do have. And not be so much focused on the things that you don't have. Because as soon as you open up that door to things that you don't have, then you block out the information to come to you to how to get what you are seeking or how to correct the situation. You block it out because you're so focusing on what's wrong. Take it from me. I throw tantrums, and I would stay in a cycle of trying to figure out, okay, why did it happen like this? I did this, I did that. No. Okay, Lord, that did not work out the way that I seen it in my head. What would you have me to do? Because this is too much and I'm getting overwhelmed. And that's another reason why I suggest and I would recommend my Getting Unstuck Coach program. It's a 6-week program, self-paced at your own pace, but the program is so life-changing. Because of her program, I'm able to, when I have my tantrums, because I have them often, I go through a program exercise that she did is called victimhood. Why is this making me feel like this? What feelings are coming up? And then address those feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in everything. Just give it to God. The thing and the key is, and the wisdom I want to leave you with on this Wednesday, is simply, as much as you can, as often as you can, quiet your spirit. If it's an outside entity, cancel that out. And if you like, how can you cancel that out if it's an outside entity? If it's your kids, if it's this. You can take 15 minutes to quiet your spirit and sit with God and let him see how he will have you to deal with it. And then when you get up, instead of you instantly start pressing play on, I'm about to do this and I'm about to do that. Nope. You quiet your spirit and you get up and you flow. And when something drops in your spirit to handle like this, don't question, don't reason, do it. See how it works. Don't take the first initial response, especially if you like me, because something happened, I need to speak on it right now, and whoop. Sometimes it's meant for us to sit on it. Sit on it. Because if we sit with that thought of offense or whatever it is, it does not give us the opportunity or the other person the opportunity to add to the offense. When I sit up here and I address something when it happened right then and there, then guess what? The frustration I have right then and there, whatever lie that they say, whatever excuse that they give, whatever come out of their mouth is going to do nothing but add to the irritation. I'm not open to receive at that point because I felt that I was offended by the flesh. But I'm not wrestling with the flesh. I need to go back and ask myself, why did what that person say or do offend me if it's an outside entity? Sit with God, ask him to bring it in a proper perspective, and then allow him to flow through you to handle the situation. But these are just little things that I'm noticing on my journey. And it's literally quiet your spirit enough just so you can be led on how to do it. Don't be so quick to let someone know how they offend you, because guess what? If they offended you, that was their act, that was their genuine act. And so what makes you think that just because you pointed out, they're going to say, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I won't do it no more. Even though they may be sorry and even though they may not do it no more. But the thing is, let me process this. Ask myself, why did it offend me, and why am I taking it so personal? And then after that, if I need to address it, go address it then. So that's still a work in progress for me, depending upon the situation. But at the same time, the thing is to quiet your spirit. Because when you quiet your spirit, then God can drop things in your spirit. God can speak to your spirit. God can move through your spirit. God can get in touch with the spirit that he left within you. But if it's so caught up with chaos and confusion, we will never hear him, because all we will pay attention to is the chaos and confusion. Quiet your spirit. Wednesday wisdom. That's the best thing that you can do if you want to get unstuck and get clear. Quiet your spirit so God can speak to you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.